You, my blood enemy.
This is Niflheim, the hell of mist and cold.
Nicolas Flamel's Laboratory, Assassin's Creed Unity.
Come here, you cowardly bastard! Now!
It was only centuries after Flamel's death that his name became associated with alchemy, and people began to perpetuate myths throughout France and then the wider world that he'd achieved the secret to immortality. In fairness, he did live into his late 80s, which is no mean feat when you're living in France in the 14th century. To unlock his secrets within Unity, there's a multi-stage side quest you have to complete, ending in Arno exploring the bowels of Notre-Dame to retrieve the elixir of life for a woman who's requested it. You get to explore Flamel's entire laboratory and stop his elixir from being used for evil. Tombs of the Fallen, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
What adventure awaits within?
These optional tombs were added to Valhalla in a free update long after launch, so it's understandable that you may not have gone back to find them. As well as that, they're a rare case of an area in a Ubisoft game that isn't marked on your map. The first one appears as a quest, but that's not the case for the others. They can be found by flying around as the Raven and seeing the glowing blue circles on the terrain. Once you find them, you then have to solve them, and they're large puzzle dungeons that reward you with some lore about historical figures who resisted the Roman invasion of Britain.
Who disturbs my centuries-long slumber? I well deserve this rest.
Leila's Research Station, Assassin's Creed Origins.
There's some interference on the line. Didn't catch that last bit.
A lot of Origins players tried to spend as little time as possible with the new modern-day protagonist, Leila Hassan, which means they may not have explored her research station in great detail. There are some mandatory missions here, but if you didn't look too closely, you may not have realized you can find the cave during Bayek's travels in Siwa. You can explore Hotep Cavern as Bayek, and inside you'll find a riddle, and Bayek says something about how he feels like he'll return there one day. He of course will, because it will be his final resting place. Vlad the Impaler's Prison, Assassin's Creed Revelations. Added in one of Revelations' DLCs, The Lost Archive, there's a small side mission where Ezio explores an infamous prison containing Vlad the Impaler's final resting place. It's also where you can loot his sword, a unique item. Vlad died fighting the Ottomans in the 15th century in his native Romania, but his grave has never been found. Nobody knows what happened to his body, and attempts to find his tomb in various mythical locations have ended in failure. Ezio, though, seems to know exactly where his body was. If only he'd written it down somewhere. If you never bought the Revelations DLC, you never would have seen this eerie location. Mayan Temple, Assassin's Creed 3.
I'll stay with our ride, Captain. Make sure nothing happens to it.
Good. There is a temple on the island. What I seek is likely in there.
This mission was a pre-order bonus later released as DLC, so if you didn't pre-order or didn't check back for minor DLCs, or you've never played the remaster, you likely never saw it. That's a shame because it's a stunning map, and a tricky platforming level Connor has to go through as part of his quest to find Captain Kidd's lost treasure. A teaser of what was to come in Black Flag, and a nod to Liberation, which also featured Mayan ruins in Central America, this small level is a lot of fun and harkens back to Ezio's secret platforming levels. It's based on a real ruin too, that wasn't studied by modern archaeologists until the 1970s. The Sword in the Stone, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. While the real sword in the stone would appear underneath Stonehenge in Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Odyssey also had an Arthurian Easter egg. Found at the top of Mount Taygetos, the sword is actually a solution to one of the game's riddles. But if you're not collecting or solving the riddles, you could certainly stumble across it by accident while exploring. But was it just a fun nod to the legend of King Arthur and how he pulled the sword from the stone to become king, or was it an obscure hint about what the next game in the series would be? The Desert Hallucinations, Assassin's Creed Origins. You probably encountered a handful of these by chance while roaming Egypt's vast deserts, but did you know there are over a dozen? Did you also know that before the hallucination itself, Bayek will see a vision of Kimu drawing a scene from Bayek's near future or recent past in the sand? Perhaps the eeriest of all the hidden hallucinations is when Bayek sees his own dead body with a vulture perched on it, and it's one of the few that elicits a response from him. Some of the hallucinations also have clues you can follow that lead Bayek to stashes of valuable silica too. World War I, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Though this memory glitch is marked way off in a corner of the map, it's very unclear what it is. Because of that, a lot of players never went over there and never found out that it's a doorway to the future. If you go through it, you're treated to missions that we're honestly surprised Ubisoft didn't add as DLC, in which you play as Lydia Fry, a descendant of Jacob during the First World War. In an area roughly equivalent to modern-day Tower Hamlets, Lydia tracks Templar spies through a small map full of new landmarks. Much like the Helix glitches in Unity that let us climb the Eiffel Tower, this one was definitely just an excuse to get Tower Bridge in the game. But it was a lot of fun, so who cares?
Stop right there!
That's not very polite.
Even in these trying times, we must never forget the laws of common courtesy. Arms down.
Fort de Sable, Assassin's Creed Rogue. This is one of the only forts in the game that Shay actually can't take over, and it holds some unique collectibles. That is, if you bought the DLC. You need to have bought the Templar Legacy Pack to get everything Fort de Sable has to offer, much like many of the other locations that have gone unexplored in the series. If you do have the DLC, you'll be sailing through North America to find various remnants of Sir James Gunn's armor until finally looting it from its hiding place in Fort de Sable. The name is also surely a reference to Robert de Sable, the Templar Grand Master of the first game. The Grand Vault, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I do not understand. Ah, you want me to tell a story?
Upon landing in Vinland to pursue another assassination target, you were probably wondering whether this area was the same area as the frontier in Assassin's Creed 3. And the answer is yes, it is the same place, and has a few Easter eggs for avid fans of the series. After retrieving the Apple of Eden, which is the very same apple that Connor will later use, you can find the Grand Vault entrance. This ominous doorway is the one Haytham Kenway spent his entire life trying to open, and you can hear a voice line from Juno when you're in there. Eivor knows the door isn't meant to be opened by them, so they leave it alone. It would then remain unopened until Desmond arrives to avert the 2012 catastrophe.
Take it and guard it. It may be that one day you will know its purpose. Thank you.
Let us know in the comments which secret locations even we didn't find.